You next.
A couple of things. One, the whole get your data back off the cloud. I work for an advertising marketing firm. Our average home directory size is about 150.
Oh, I know. It's very impractical.
As far as after having spent about 7 years in the Air Force, in general, if you're on a U.S. military installation, that's considered U.S. soil, which is one of
the border up in Canada and the Bahamas or everywhere we have a pre-clearance port is considered the border, the U.S. border, because you're going to go through customs in Winnipeg or wherever you're, and then you're going to get on a plane and actually come through. So it's called the functional equivalent of the border.
Yeah.
John McCain still being born on U.S. soil, even though he was born in Panama.
There's an interesting. You used the words functional equivalent of the border. There's an important sort of counter distinction there, I guess. You can be searched at the functional equivalent of the border. So that might be Winnipeg, and it may also be San Diego, because so they pull people over on the freeway between San Diego and Los Angeles. They have to know that the car crossed the border. They can't just do it at random. They have to know that the car crossed the border. The car came from Mexico.
That means that we know that you did cross the border or you crossed the functional equivalent of the border.
And so at that point, legally, the search happens under border search rules because it's considered to be the functional equivalent of the border, even though you're on the freeway north of San Diego. In that context, because you have some reason, you have established that person crossed the border.
But that's why, like, installations, even temporary ones in Saudi, you can still drink within the border. but that's I knew guys used to do that all the time, and it'd be these little maybe 100-yard square radar installations, but inside that fence you could drink, and outside you were under sovereign laws, which meant you couldn't.
I see. Yeah.
And the other thing is, for anyone talking about, like, I'm going to say no to the password, you go to places like China or other places that don't have our laws.
Yeah.
There's a friend of mine.
Oh, you're right.
He had a great phrase. He called it rubber hose decryption.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, refusing your password to the U.S. government is one thing. Refusing it to the Chinese government is something else entirely.
If you go to France, it's illegal.
Yeah.
Encryption. You just, your plane stops over in France. You decide, hey, I'm going to go see Paris while I'm here, and you have an encrypted partition on your drive. You're in jail.
Yeah, and it's not just China. There's a lot of, I had friends of mine who lived in Germany for many years, and they said you don't lip off to the police side.
No, I mean, generally that's true. You don't talk shit to the cops, okay? If it turns out that the situation is bad, collect as much information as possible and talk to your lawyer about it later. You don't want to get in an argument with someone who can make your life miserable. Anyway.
In response to that, I work for a French company, and I just got a laptop from them, and guess what? It's got true crypto on it.
Well, that's not.
Are you trying to tell me that if I go over to France, where my parent company is, that I am just...
I don't know what the laws are in France.
Yes, no. See, it's really weird. We have a campus in France for Georgia Tech, and so it's really weird. We have to be very careful what we send over. If you're in France, you can use encryption. It's actually...
Oh, it's the importing of encryption software. That's right.
That's bad. So it's crossing the border with the encryption.
No. What I'm saying is I work here in the U.S. for a French company.
Yes, but see, that's the thing, is you have an entity already over there that you're working with that is French, and so there's different rules for that.
They may have applied for a license for you to have it.
Yeah.
I know the other side of the equation. There are export laws which prohibit the export of cryptography from the United States, and there's a specific exemption for laptops so that you can have crypto on your laptop and you're not breaking the law if you leave the U.S. with the crypto software on your laptop. It's called the BAG exception.
Tools of the trade.
So I don't know. I mean, it sounds like France does not have a similar import exemption, which is kind of stupid. Yeah. But generally speaking, they're trying to bust companies that are exporting or importing lots of cryptography or cryptography for commercial use. But yeah, I mean, you could befall this if you went in and they decided you were importing crypto on your laptop.
Regarding having the crypto on your laptop, does that just apply to the tools themselves? I mean, let's say that I have PGP encryption installed, but I don't actually have anything encrypted on it, or I'm not using anything with steganography or anything like that. I mean, like, just the presence of the tool itself.
I don't think the presence of the tool itself should create suspicion. But I mean, it depends on the circumstances. Scott, am I like running way over? Do I need to? I got 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of these cases, we send people overseas all the time, and the issue is, do you want to be the test case?
Right.
Yeah, that's really I really don't want to be the test case. French jails suck.
Would you know? No, I'm kidding.
No, actually, if you've seen the movie Catch Me If You Can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
French jails suck, and they like it that they suck. So you really don't want to get caught there.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You want to challenge French law? You want to put it here?
So I guess I should ask my IT department before I go flying over to France again, huh?
It's a valid question to ask.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We have to go through Georgia Tech legal all the time to figure stuff out. It's so convoluted we can't figure it out.
Two things. The case is U.S. versus Voucher, the PGP case.
Oh, okay. Voucher.
That was from 97, or no, 2007.
2007.
There had to be an appeal by now. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
The court held up the appeal and told the the TSA, I guess is what it is, they could not prosecute, or they could not detain or prosecute them based off that theory.
The TSA is totally different.
Yeah. I want to say, honestly, I don't think that had anything to do with the TSA. The voucher case, I think, the voucher case is the Fifth Amendment to reveal your. I think the voucher case is the Fifth Amendment to reveal your password case.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I think he might be talking about something different.
Okay. There was another one.
It was recent on Fireside, so.
I'll figure it out. What was your other thing?
On the encryption and the concerns there, and I'm not saying this is the answer, but plausible deniability is the way to go. I would dare you to find my second encrypted partition using TrueCrypt, using that method. Basically, a partition within a partition that can't be seen.
Well, no. What I can tell you're running TrueCrypt, and then I can interrogate you. I can't find it.
But I can log you in. You can boot my laptop up, and I'll let you log in. I'll give you my TrueCrypt password. And you can boot any of multiple OSs.
Right. And so the question is, am I satisfied that you've shown me everything?
Correct.
Right.
Denying entry to foreign nationals and whatnot to U.S. citizens. Does it depend whether you're native born U.S. citizen or natural?
If you're a U.S. citizen, whether you were born here or you come to the naturalization process, it's not. Not at all. I would like to say real quick is write to Congress. Think about it, write to them, write to your congressman. We're law enforcement officers. We enforce the law. If they change the law, we'll enforce a different one. I might not agree with half the law.
Don't make Tammy's life difficult because you're pissed off at U.S. policy. She can't change it. She just works here.
Laws that are just backwards are really old, and they don't make sense. But I can't cherry pick the ones that, or if I do, then I'm probably going to go to jail. Do that. But the reasonable suspicion thing, if they're going to change that defines, not just for laptops, but that defines our entire job. Going through anything, cargo, your clothing, keeping you in a hospital, whatever. So if they are going to change what reasonable suspicion and define what it means and be more specific with it, they're going to change what our entire job encompasses. And so, that's fine. I mean, I don't care either way. But I'm just saying it's probably going to be a long time coming because they will have to redefine what customs reassess that whole thing they're supposed to do.
I think that all that's on the table really, and in my view, all that's on the table is just whether or not reasonable suspicion is required to search a laptop, as opposed to necessarily attempting to define what reasonable suspicion is in some more specific way than it already is defined.
I guess part of the problem would be, why would a laptop be, other than, well, there's stuff on there, other than luggage size and pack and not pack and all that stuff, but a laptop somehow, by law, would have to be different from everything else.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it's interesting to me because it involves what I do, although I hate it, but...
I mean, and so I try in this presentation to present my talking points about that, but I really think that a laptop contains a huge amount of personal information, and so it is fundamentally different from what you guys usually deal with. It's not a piece of luggage, where in that luggage only contains what I meant to pack for travel. There could be personal items here and there in my luggage that I don't want to expose, but a laptop is like it's where all of the really private stuff goes, and it's got it all. It's not just got a little bit of it, and so it crosses this threshold. One of the arguments that has been made by this guy who's I think his last name is Roush. He's like a former DOJ prosecutor. His view was that customs should be able to boot the laptop and look at like the desktop and just kind of give it a cursory look without reasonable suspicion, but actually going through and reading email or doing a detailed forensic analysis, like that's where he felt like the line should be drawn. So some analysis of the laptop should be possible randomly, but deep analysis of the laptop should require reasonable suspicion.
From our perspective, it's a matter of time and resources. We don't have time to search 10,000.
That's true. That's true.
If I'm asking questions, I turn your computer and you sound legit, and I don't find anything. You know, your screensaver isn't child porn. Don't be surprised. I'm not going to sit there, because part of it's because I don't know shit about anything. But but if I'm talking to you and it sounds weird, we are going to hold it. But from a time perspective and our resources, I'd rather spend 10 minutes on someone who I know is weird than grab 10 random people.
I agree, but one of the things that Chertoff did essentially come out and say that basically what you just said. There's a question about people if the policy would allow customs to do it at random, and so customs could decide to do it at random. The other thing is that if the hard drive duplication technology improved substantially, you look at it on a 40-year time horizon, you could end up in a situation where it's possible to duplicate everyone's hard drive instantly, and you don't do the analysis. You just duplicate the hard drives, and there's some automated technology doing analysis, and so it becomes a totally different thing. And I don't know, whatever. That's it. I think we're way over time. How are you, Scott? Do you want us to stop?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for your time. If you're concerned about this, here's the URL, and thanks for your time.